This is Chris from Adelfia. He's been with us now, dude. How long? A couple years. So
I think we're coming up on 2 years. Yeah, in June will be 2 years.
yeah. So Chris started from scratch, and we were literally right before I hit the record button. We were just talking about the road of that, the challenging road that is. So um, what I'm hoping, guys, is just that Chris can share a little bit about his story. He's done a ton with video, a ton with social media and LinkedIn and stuff, and maybe talking a little bit about that. So we're just having a casual chat. That's kind of how it's going to be. And Chris, I don't know, dude. I'm just going to throw it to you just to kind of maybe talk about kind of your background, how you got into the business,
Yeah,
and then kind of your journey, and then we can maybe pivot into like some of the LinkedIn or video or what you're seeing, what's working.
for sure. Yeah, so Tony, I don't even know if I've told you like in detail, like start to finish, really how it all like played out for me. So when I was around, I think it was 18 years old, I was, looking for my first, professional job. Reached out to a buddy of mine. His dad was actually a farmer's agent. He said, call up my dad, remind him of our childhood and see if he'll give you a job. So I basically gave him a call. He gave me an opportunity because I was bilingual. I speak Spanish. So he gave me an opportunity at 18. I started working as a, customer service guy at this farmer's agency. They threw the phone at me. They just said, start calling people. And, at that point, I didn't realize it, but I was pretty much cross-selling people. And kind of just got the ball rolling, worked under the farmer's agent for 4 years, 4 summers, interned under him for 4 summers, and just picked it up pretty quickly. I think I'm a quick learner, so I got a hang of the dashboard and how to navigate. Farmers isn't too hard, the dashboard navigating and whatnot anyway. So got rolling on that. The whole time I was there, I was constantly just thinking, what would I be doing if this was my business, or how would I improve this process or whatever. And so yeah, basically all of college, my senior year, the last 6 months, I basically started building out my own strategy for starting up my own agency. I obviously couldn't say that to them yet because I was already kind of 1 foot out the door, but pretty much set myself up to launch my agency. First day out of college, got a hold of you somehow, and we got rolling. So that's when I launched Adelfia Insurance, and so far so good. Now we're almost 2 years in. So I would say there's probably 3 different things that have really worked for me well. Number one thing I'll touch on just because we're already talking about it. I've been using video since the first day. I started. Like you said, we follow Gary Vee. I've seen kind of all the statistics on how after about 7 times of seeing somebody on video, 7 times in a row, the human brain starts to process that interaction as if you've actually met that person in real life. So I started to see some stuff like that, and I was like, okay, like this is a free tool that I have. I'm connected to thousands of people. I'm going to brand myself. I'm going to, talk regularly and just build rapport with people virtually as much as I can. Multiply yourself. So like you said, big believer on the video thing. I think I did a decent job starting up. Lots of really crappy videos when I first started. They are honestly embarrassing to look at sometimes. They've gotten better, and there's still some embarrassing ones for sure. And it's a bit uncomfortable at times to get in front of the camera. But for the most part, I would say the video was very, very effective. Getting my name out there. People started reaching out to my parents, to my sister, saying like, oh, like I heard about your brother, your son's like business, and everywhere in the community, people. Obviously, I grew up here, but lots of attention around it. So that was good. People need to know who you are so they can buy from you. If they don't know who you are, they're never going to be able to buy insurance from you. So that worked. I'll go into the next one. The next one that worked for me was just in-person networking. In-person networking is just, I don't think you can beat it. I think you need to go out and shake hands and kiss the babies. I think it's a really important part of, sales and getting your name out there in the community. So that's had a big drive on my sales. And the third one that actually another SIA member, crazy story. I was just had like gotten a fight with my girlfriend. She said I was working too much. I was like in this like crazy like sales mode, and I just started driving randomly to like go start knocking on doors. I knocked on the first door that I knocked on. It was Michael Eastman's agency. He opened the door and he was like, in here. I told him I was part of SIA. I was trying to sell him insurance. He's like, nah, man, sorry, I don't want any. And I was like, why not? Like, I was kind of, what's the deal? Like, why not? And then he brought me in. He explained he was part of SIA too. And he basically told me, go and hit up every captive State Farm and Farmers agent in your local area and just pitch yourself. Let them know that you could be the referral source for, you know, stuff they can't do. And that was a huge turning point for me. So that was shout out to Michael Eastman. Yeah, so the big thing for me was, you know, the free local groups, every opportunity that came up on, you know, meetup.com. I don't know if any people out there are familiar with Meetup. I was just taking every opportunity. I wrote on I remember on my whiteboard, like, goal for 2019, do not miss one networking meeting. They were at 7 a.m. I was always there, every single one, just shaking hands, and everybody gets their 1 minute turn to pitch themselves. I think people like the fact that I was a young guy and hungry, and they could sense that. So a lot of people, I think, just gave me a shot just because they thought I was like a hungry young guy. Besides that, I'm still trying to get better at, you know, getting the relationships with more loan officers, realtors. I know those are the two like strongest, and maybe like CPAs or like financial advisors, but I'm still working on that end of it and trying to like find new angles to get in on those. I have a couple really good ones that are like family friends and people that I've met through the networking groups, but nothing like really solid where I'm like just blowing up. So all I would say for anybody out there would be starting from scratch, get into as many networking groups, pitch yourself, dress professionally, and don't miss the meetings, because every meeting there's an opportunity.
If you were gonna say, you look back in the last 2 years, what was like the worst place you spent money that you would never do again? Do you have a worst place?
Worst place I spent money was probably I got a cold call from one of these listing agencies where they'll list you like across every platform or whatever, all the different directories. And I've never been sold off a cold call in my life, but somehow this guy was good. I even told him, I was like, you're really good. And he sold me, and I bought it. It was like $300 a month, and I didn't know at the time, but I was overpaying a lot on those listings. I should have been paying for like SEO services or somebody who really knew, like kind of putting my website together. I think it wasn't worth it at the time. And then I switched addresses anyway, so it wasn't worth it.
You know, when you think about like from your video, can you talk about like maybe the gear like that you're using for video? Like, are you just using your iPhone? Do you have editing software? Like, what do you using? How involved is it, or is it pretty simple?
Yeah, no, it's fairly simple. I use my phone. I have these microphones that I bought on Amazon, the little ones here, like you buy. I bought those for like $20 on Amazon. I have this little stand that I use for my phone, and I have some nice lighting stuff. That's pretty much it. Besides that, I just want to make sure everyone looks good, sounds good. So there are different platforms, and I believe you're talking to a different audience. So number one, you need to be highly engaged. You need to be engaged with the people you're on there. So I'll touch on LinkedIn first, just because I think LinkedIn is the best B2B for commercial agents out there. There's a big opportunity, and then even personal lines with connecting with lenders and realtors and whatnot. So yeah, you just got to tailor your content that you're posting on there to your audience. So you want to have a little more professional content on your LinkedIn. You know, there's a couple tools. I don't know if you've heard of Duck's Soup. It's a LinkedIn automation tool that is an add-on to Google Chrome. And essentially what it does is you click this robot. The robot will basically run through profiles that you can sort. So you could say, I want to connect with, you know, you can basically filter who you're looking for.
Yeah.
You filter, you know, Los Angeles or San Diego, and then you put everyone that works at Caliber Home Loans, or they work at, you know, I don't know, New American Funding, whatever. So you start filtering all these people, and then you press this robot, and the robot will go through each profile and it'll connect with them. It'll even send them a personalized message. Like, I'm sure you get all these messages all the time from random people, but the trick is to say, you know, something like, hey, let me know if there's ever like a homeowner's quote I can help out with. It could drag their name so it looks like it's actually you saying it. It's probably, I mean, a lot of people sniff it out, but you know, once in a while you get that one person that's looking for a partner, a referral partner, and they say, yeah, send me, and then maybe, do you mind if I send you a few cards? So they say yes. Then you say, what's your address? You send them a card, throw in a little Starbucks gift card, and then now you got yourself a connection. That's what I did with a lot of State Farm and Farmers agents. And I got some in Northern California, I got some in San Diego that refer me clients here and there. So that's a really cool tool, something to look into. There's but besides that, as far as actually the content that you want to be posting, anything that brings value, you know, that brings value to people in your audience. It's such a generic thing to say, but
you know, one of the things I've liked is your interview. You know, you've started your interview program shows. What was kind of the impetus for that, and like, what have you found to be like, what are you liking about it? What's been the challenge of doing that? Has it been hard to find people to interview, or kind of what was the thought process behind kind of your interview show?
yeah, it's a great question. So the interview thing is there's several reasons for it, and I think a lot of people don't realize what's happening. But so first of all, I'm trying to, you know, first and foremost, find ways to bring value to my audience, whether it's on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever it is. Make sure that they're engaged, entertained. So on top of that, I'm also trying to get a good guest on the show, which will help build me and that guest's relationship, and potentially down the line, whether they're a business owner or just a person, they're going to remember always being interviewed by me. And who doesn't want to get interviewed? You know, like it's feels good. So there's that. On top of that, I think, so that's kind of where it comes full circle. I think, you know, you're bringing value, you're using those pieces of content, you got that person in there, it's a good connection. I'm trying to think what else was important about it.
Did you have like a strategy?
I mean, that's all I can think of right.
Well, did you have like a strategy behind the types of people you wanted to interview?
Yeah. So there's three categories that I really want to focus on. It's business mindset, strategies, and positivity. So if somebody I feel like hits those three, that's somebody I'm reaching out to. And at first it was tough to get people, you know, getting people in person in the office and being like face to face is a little bit harder. It was people flaking, like I would set my time aside to go do this and they wouldn't show up. It's happened a couple times, so that was tough. But the Zoom and like the go-to meeting, super easy. I've knocked out like 3 or 4 this week, so it was good. Yeah, I think we're good. I think this is a great idea what you're doing, Tony. I would really like to see kind of, because it is important. I think there's a lot of agents maybe a lot older than I am and a lot more experience than I have that I don't know their stories. I don't know how they did it. And I would love, that's gold to me. You know, like I would love to hear those stories and I would watch every one of these, you know, so I think, yeah, there's a lot of people within SIA that I haven't, it's like a gold mine that I haven't even tapped into yet. But yeah, just kind of, I like what you're doing, and hopefully, you know, somebody can take some value from me, even though I'm still fairly young and still figuring it out. But yeah, it's good stuff. I like it.